Every year, Forbes magazine releases a list of America's biggest givers. And in 2023, these 25 individuals or pairs made the list. It includes people like Google co-founder Sergey Brin and Mark Zuckerberg and his wife Priscilla Chan. These are the piles of money Forbes reported each of them has given away. Collectively, a whopping $196 billion of lifetime giving. That's bigger than the GDP of most countries. In the least flattering zone of the chart, the highest net worth but the lowest proportion of it given away is Jeff Bezos. The founder of Amazon is the richest person on this chart. His $117 billion net worth dwarfs his $2.7 billion of
This is such a funny argument because, what do we think? Like, Warren Buffett's a good guy then? They're all fucking demons, dog. They all suck. Only compared to his peers. I mean, but who cares? It's all for PR anyway. These guys are literally only doing it for PR. They have so much money that this is like a drop in the bucket for them to get PR. Like, everything that my haters think I do with respect to charity, which they ironically used to yell at me for not even publicizing deliberately because I didn't want it to come across like I was fucking doing it for PR. These guys actually are doing for PR. And unlike myself, they literally have institutional power. Global governments are created at the behest of maintaining the profit margins of billionaires. So they just kind of take advantage of that situation and maybe add their seasoning here and there when they deem it necessary. They also utilize their foundations for not just PR, but also manipulating policy. Yeah, someone was saying, do not Google Oxford vaccine, Bill Gates. Yeah, that's true. Bill Gates interfered with the Oxford vaccine being free and convinced them to sell it to AstraZeneca on a closed patent, which is, delusional and awful beyond belief. I do remember I did actually talk about that at the time. Just a fucking absolute freak, dude. Like, what a psychotic freak. Meanwhile, then you have idiots like Russell Brand being like, oh, mate, these fucking big pharma, they want everyone to take the death vaccine. It's like, bro, what the fuck are you talking about? The death vaccine? Homie, these guys are trying to make money off of it, but in the normal world, these vaccines should be fucking free. You know what I mean? They should be free. It is ridiculous that these publicly funded research-backed ass fucking vaccines are unironically being sold for profit in any capacity. But the reality is, even if they were free, these guys who hate vaccines would still turn around and say, it's unacceptable. These vaccines are killing us. They shouldn't give it to you at all. I don't want fucking needles.
This chart helps us see who the real standout givers are. Those who give most of their wealth away and those who hold on to their enormous fortunes.
Even if
they're all bad. All of these guys have accumulated these immense, world-changing amounts of wealth off of abusing their workforce, okay? Every single one of them has extracted surplus labor value from hundreds of thousands, not in some instances millions of people, okay? The idea that some of them are better than others because they give more of their percentage of wealth is a silly one, when the main point of contention should be hyper-focusing on their relations to the means of production rather than how much money they turn around and give back to charities. If you're so fucking charitable, how about you give back a larger percentage of the profits to your workforce and then actually pay a fair share in taxes instead of fucking turning around and advocating every step of the way to cut taxes for yourself and your corporation. That's it. If wealthy people were magnanimous, truly, okay, then they would be paying their workers more. They wouldn't be having Amazon distribution facilities where ambulances stay outside instead of paying the additional costs for AC inside of the facility, because hey, if you pass away or you pass out from heat stroke, it's much cheaper for the company to just ship your ass over to the fucking nearest hospital via ambulance. This argument is ridiculous. But the problem isn't billionaires as individuals, but rather the system that allows them to do so. Don't lose focus on the real problem. Of course. Of course. The system is designed to create people like this. If it wasn't Bill Gates, if it wasn't Jeff Bezos, it'd be someone else. But these guys do have an awesome amount of power, an awesome, unimaginable amount of power. So they themselves are technically a little responsible here. I don't think you lump Gates in with Bezos. Software doesn't have split shop warehouse factory conditions. Yeah. But Bill Gates is a scumbag in his own way. For his rigorous controls over patents. They manufacture hardware too. So yes, they still use like awful labor conditions and awful warehouse factory conditions as well. You wouldn't say this if you were a billionaire? Yeah, I probably wouldn't say this if I was a billionaire. Do you want to know why? Because if I was a billionaire, that would mean that I have like completely lost interest in any of the genuinely held beliefs that I have currently, because I am a firm believer that like, unless you're a fucking athlete, impossible pretty much for you to become a billionaire without legitimately extracting people's surplus labor value as a way to accumulate capital. It's no different than saying like, you wouldn't say this if you were an evil person. Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't be advocating for trans issues if you yourself were transphobic and evil. Yeah, I wouldn't. You're right. At scale, Hasan lives a better standard of life compared to some of those billionaires. Wait, what? Buffett is an investor. He has no control over farmland. Dumbasses. Wait, what? Did you just say that I have a better standard of life compared to some of those billionaires? You did not just unironically make this argument. Please. Oh my God, this guy ate the boot. He took the propaganda. This is why it's so effective. This guy goes, don't try and compare your giving to Buffett. Haha. Buffett lives on a house 1/8 in value to yours. Dog, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? Guys, what do you think investors do? Do you think investors have no say? What are we talking about when we talk about the board's fiduciary responsibility? Do you think they're doing it for no reason? No, they're doing it at the behest of sometimes billionaires like Warren Buffett, who own large shares through Berkshire Hathaway of companies like Norfolk Southern. When a company like Norfolk Southern invests into stock buybacks instead of investing into safety mechanisms and investing into a labor force like the labor unions are begging for them to do, they're doing that at the behest of their shareholders. Warren Buffett owns Burlington Northern Santa Fe, 15% of that. And they engage in the exact same bullshit that every other railroad company does as well. That's crazy to me that you looked to a house in an irresponsibly expensive housing market so I don't have to like adjust my fucking quality of life when I can clearly pay for it. Like, it's not a fucking big deal for me. And you turned around and you use that as a way to say that like my quality of life is higher than Warren Buffett's, and that I live a better standard of life than Warren Buffett's because he lives in the same house that he bought for $31,000 in like 1964 or whatever I hope you understand that you have, eaten the bait, hook, line, and sinker. You are the dupe that he behaves this way for, and that's the reason why they write articles about it. Exactly, and it's no more power than you would have over Twitch. You think Warren Buffett, as a shareholder, has less power on a major rail company than I do as a contracted employee at Twitch? I don't own a single piece of stock in Twitch. I have no power over Twitch. I am a very well-paid contractor at Twitch. Warren Buffett is the shareholder. He has all the power. He owns 15%. They are the real bosses. They will never see the factory floor. Oh my God. That's so sad. You literally think I have ownership over Amazon, which has ownership over Twitch? What are you, fucking crazy? There's no way you're being serious, right? I really, really, really hope you're... No, I just did the math. Dude, that is the most unimaginably idiotic take. You have to be like 12 years old, right? If you literally... No, not even 12. A 12-year-old has a better understanding of how much more power a shareholder has over a corporation because they're a percentage owner in the corporation, whereas I am someone who gets paid by the corporation. Saying Buffett is bad because he's super rich is also too black and white. I never said that. I do think, however, that there is a level of wealth accumulation that comes with, I guess, selling your soul to the devil, if you want to consider it that way. But the real reason why Warren Buffett is not a good guy, is because he has ownership over these companies. Here it is. Warren Buffett, the owner of BNSF Railway's parent company, became 1.38 billion richer yesterday. In one day, Mr. Buffett made twice as much money as it would cost to guarantee 15 paid sick days a year to every rail worker in America. The greed of the rail industry must end. And when Democratic and Republican politicians operate at the behest of BNSF, they're doing it so that Warren Buffett can keep making a tidy profit like that. Turning around and then fucking comparing me to someone like Warren Buffett because you saw news articles about how expensive my fucking house was that I put a down payment on, okay, is unimaginably idiotic. I also personally am a firm believer in making sure that we legitimately fill the houses that are currently empty, utilizing the vacant homes, making sure that homes are not seen as an investment vehicle, but instead for shelter. Truly decommodifying housing. What level of wealth requires or strongly implies immorality? I don't know. People always say this. There is no perfect metric for this. Okay? There isn't. Which is why you work off of your relations to the means of production rather than how much money you have accumulated. Which is why I talk about labor billionaires all the time. Like, there are like football players and shit that are generating even more value for the teams that they're a part of, and they have massively expensive contracts. So now we do have something like billionaires that are wage billionaires, like labor billionaires, literally. 768,324,867 is the threshold, 2023. If you legitimately think people who own like a Gucci shirt or a nice car or a nice house are like as living as large as like someone like Warren Buffett, who for marketing purposes or because he doesn't have any fucking interest in like buying nice things, lives in a house, I don't know what to tell you. Speaking of Warren Buffett and getting taxed, no, this is a silly one because Warren Buffett says tax the rich, tax me, okay? But it's yet another. When I say tax the rich, tax me, I only make money off of income, okay? I am a wage earner, okay? I generate value for a company. The company takes a surplus, my surplus labor value, and then gives it back to me. Warren Buffett can say, please increase the top marginal tax rate. Please do it all day, every day. If you think that that's where his income is coming from, I don't know what to tell you. He doesn't give a shit. He can be paid $1 a year. His wealth comes from his assets. His wealth comes from his capital accumulation. Also, yeah, that's the other thing that I never understand about Warren Buffett is like, dude, you are unimaginably wealthy. Like, you're not going to go buy dumb shit. Like, what the fuck's the point of being rich? No, literally. What the absolute fuck is the point of being like financially successful if you're not going to waste money every now and then? Like, that is, in my opinion, that's way more sociopathic than like, you know, celebrities who buy like nice fucking cars and nice houses and shit for themselves. Straight up. Like, you're going to really eat McMuffins every fucking morning and you're hoarding $138 billion of wealth? That is absolute sociopathic bullshit. Just parking your money. You're not even having the most fun. I think they just love being powerful. I mean, I think so too, yes. Maybe he wants to leave it all for his behind for his family. I don't know. Yeah, that's dumb as fuck. I think being a miser is like an actual pathology. I think they do it out of selfishness and cruelty. Yeah, it almost feels like he's making fun of everybody. He's like, I don't give a fuck. I have this kind of money and I'm eating at McDonald's because that's what I can fucking, and I can still accumulate more wealth than you. I don't have much. Wear simple $50 Converse. It's not realized profit. No, I think you both have similar influence. This guy got banned. Yeah, dude, you're right. Yes, chatter, you're correct. I have the same level of influence that Warren Buffett has over a company that he fucking wholeheartedly owns. Okay? You're correct. That's crazy. I really thought that was like a meme, like a meme thing to say, and it turns out that it's not. Like, there are people who legitimately think that like Warren Buffett and I have the same level of power. I don't think he has the power you think he has, but you're correct. He's simply extracting value because the system is designed for him. He doesn't have to fucking manipulate the Democratic and the Republican Party all too much for them to decide not to give more benefits and more attention to the fucking labor unions. You're out of your mind delusional if you think that he doesn't have system changing power. He just doesn't have enough power as an individual, as one guy. Warren Buffett can't turn around tomorrow and be like, I am going to fund revolutionary armed insurrection, okay, in the third world to ensure that the countries where there is most revolutionary potential end up emancipating themselves from the bloodshed that they constantly have to endure at the behest of the American empire. Okay, he can't do that. I mean, he has a lot of money. He could try, but he would get executed like in literally 3.5 seconds. He also doesn't have enough money or enough influence to overwrite hundreds of years of capitalist development. Even Warren Buffett is not that wealthy. A 19-year-old garbage man in the UK won nearly 10 million pounds and blew it all through a decade on partying. Now he's a garbage man again. They called him the king of chavs. I think he did it the cool way. I respect that. Fuck yeah, Mike. The system is designed for Warren Buffett in such a way that it runs on autopilot. And yet that's still not enough. They still go for additional, they still create additional hurdles in the way of like minor, meaningless fucking labor protections. Like they already have all the advantages. The system is created so that they can accumulate that level of wealth, and they have accumulated that level of wealth. He could try and be ethical. Warren Buffett has a mobile home property company and he increased the rent. He doesn't care. That's not even ethical at that point. Yeah, he's a fucking landlord. He's a mega landlord for the poorest of the poor. Of course he's going to fucking increase rent. There is no ethical mode of production there.
An analysis of the Chronicle of Philanthropy's top 50 donors shows that they give to education more than the...
I wonder why. Oh, also, this is fun. Yeah, no shit they give to education because that allows their children to also get into the same schools that you want them to get into.
Causes non-wealthy donors give to, like to health, a lot to religion, the environment, and international affairs.
That's gross. 27% goes to religion? Gross.
That could mean a billionaire giving $500 million to his alma mater for a new building on campus, or another giving $750 million in one single donation to charter schools in 20 U.S. cities.
Yeah, education, as in privatizing education in the form of charter schools so that public education, which oftentimes is still backed by like what remaining shred of power labor unions have, are eviscerated into oblivion, only creating the rift between the haves and have-nots and making it worse overall. Charter schools are, of course, not fucking protected by any kind of regulation and oftentimes closed. They're fucking dog shit. There's no curriculum standards. And for every one successful charter school, there's hundreds of examples of charter schools just shutting down one random Monday with hundreds of children left behind. So, whoo, damn, that's crazy. Oh my God. Look at that, dude. That kind of educational donation is gross, dude. It's absolutely fucking disastrous.
Most of the people on the Forbes list have had their own private foundations, or they give to them. Donors make large, charitable gifts to a foundation in the form of cash, assets, or stocks. In return, they get huge tax benefits immediately. But the foundation only has to give money to actual charities at a rate of 5% a year. That means money can stockpile in here, donors reap the tax benefits, while charities may only get a trickle over time. Meanwhile, this money continues to enrich donors. There's another way billionaires donate that the Forbes list doesn't count at all: donor-advised funds. These are charitable savings accounts that allow the donor to be anonymous and offer even bigger upfront tax benefits. More importantly, they have no reporting or payout requirements, so it's difficult to tell whether the money is going somewhere good or just lowering the donor's tax bill.
I mean, it is. It's lowering the donor's tax bill, and it's also lowering the donor's tax bill because the donor advised funds are fucking donating to the Federalist Society or donating to fucking Republican charities, Republican foundations or Democratic foundations, let's be real, that end up literally legalizing the lower tax bracket for them and ensuring that there is never any kind of fucking wealth tax, okay? No wealth tax whatsoever. So they're double dipping on the fucking tax benefits. One, it's a charitable donation and it gives you a tax break. And two, it's also lowering your tax bracket, or rather lowering the percentage of taxes that might ever implicate you or impact you in a meaningful way by no capital earnings, no capital accumulation tax, no wealth tax whatsoever. That's just how it works.
Donor advised funds have been rising in popularity. meaning collectively they are housing billions of dollars yet to be paid out to charities. As of 2020, that figure was $160 billion. And the huge multi-billion-dollar endowments of foundations means they have a lot of power, like the Gates Foundation. Their foundation is also the largest private donor to the World Health Organization.
Which tells you a lot about just how much agenda-setting power they have. The biggest criticism is that it's undemocratic.
Yeah, I'm surprised this video is not talking about my vast media power as like the most powerful man who owns Twitch, apparently, or has ownership stake in Twitch, similar to like Warren Buffett in numerous different industries in numerous different companies, especially at the top of the hour when I serve you a 3-minute ad break, because Warren Buffett can't do that. I am the Warren Buffett of Twitch. I serve the top of the hour ad break, and I tell you at the top of the hour, if you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe for $5 or for free. There's nothing more apparent to me about like the Twitch horse blinders that I talk about regularly than the chatter unironically making the argument that I'm as powerful as Warren Buffett. I love that. I respect that. Personally, that's fire. Claims to be a socialist, owns a house, and runs the ad break. Yeah, that guy literally said Warren Buffett. Wow, I can't. Kind of flattering that you're that powerful in their world or freaking horrifying. I think it's more that he's just like crazy, that chatter is just like completely brain broken by Twitch. I don't think it's like horrifying per se.
But if our country didn't have such dramatic wealth inequality, we wouldn't have to rely on the charitable whims of these billionaires to begin with.
That's a good take to end it on. Charity is an indication that the system is broken. There would be no need for philanthropy, no need for charity whatsoever if the systems were truly just and equitable. Okay? Gamba enjoyer. I mean, to ignore that you have power is also misleading. Buffer does contribute to economic GDP. You have a great impact on the youth right now, villainizing billionaires just because we ain't. There's a wealth gap and you're part of it. You also don't contribute to any productivity. Thank you, chatter. Thank you, Gamba enjoyer, for that take. Warren Buffett contributes to productivity. I do not. Maybe I should just take all of the wealth that I've accumulated and put it into the stock market so I can be a more productive force, which ironically misses the entire point of what productive forces are. Anyway, I am an infinitely more productive force than Warren Buffett with respect to Twitch revenue. Warren Buffett has never actually produced any labor since like, I guess, 1967. But that's besides the point. Anyway, guys, love you all, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.